So I bought a chainring from Amazon for $19.99. It's a narrow wide oval. It is a snail. It's sold by a company CYNSKY, I think it was. And I'm going to put it on. I had also bought a cheap IXF crank set. I was going to put this race face narrow wide on it, and then I thought that if anybody that buys that IXF probably is not going to put a $50 chainring on it, since the crank set itself costs about $45. So this is $19.99. So for $19.99 plus $45, $65, you can have a one-buy set rather inexpensively. I've tried out the crank set and it's actually performed really well, so I'm really happy with it. So things I noticed, the machining is really nice. It's really smooth. I haven't weighed it, but I don't think there's going to be much difference. Key difference is that this is a threaded hole here, where this is non-threaded. So you're going to have to use, the crankset came, with the little bolts for the chainring. So I have these spacers for one buy, so I'll use the spacers with the crank bolts there, and then that should work fine. I'm going to install this on that crankset that I bought, and then I'm going to take it out for a ride. Beat it around a little bit, hit some curves, some logs, some holes, some rocks, and see if the chain stays on. Not sure how efficient. I've read the reviews that some people might feel a little bit of increase in efficiency with the oval ring. It does not come with instructions, so I had to actually go online, and I've never had an oval ring before. So that little triangle there, or that little arrow, should point down the crank arm. So the crank arm would be here when you set this up. So far, just look at it, seems pretty neat. Has some crazy graphics on there. Has a little snail right there. So I don't know what it's trying to say, but one funny, if you want to read something interesting, you can read the back where it says the specs and all that. For example, it says here, number 4, conversion, single plate, the vehicle to remove dip before the dial, before transmission line, transmission pipe, and 3-piece of tooth plate. The vehicle can reduce 1 kilogram weight, make the whole car looks more simple, beautiful, and performance coexistence. Yeah, whatever that means. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and install this, and then I'll report back how it performs. I installed the chainring on that IXF crank, and so I used the little spacers that I showed. The little tabs worked great. One thing I was concerned about was that, because this is a 30 tooth, the original, the one it had on, it has that little step off. You see that? Right there, that little step off. And that is because it goes so close to the spider here that it needs clearance for the chain. This one is flat, so I was a little concerned, because being oval, this is the lowest part and it actually goes very close to the ring, whereas, let's see, in other areas it's a little farther. So there's not a problem. There's definitely not a problem. But right here it gets, right here it gets really close. And if I push down, it actually goes a little bit behind it. But lo and behold, this little cheap crankset on the spider, it has right there, it actually has a little worn down edge. You can't really see it there on the video, but it actually has a little step down here on the spider arm, so that the chain can engage there, almost like, thinking about if you use an oval chain ring, that little step helps it fit there. So I'm going to take it for a spin. I put it on my Diamondback Across. I'm going to take it for a little spin and see how it behaves, but I'll tell you, it looks great. So I set up a little obstacle course that you could see there in the little medley. I tortured it as much as a 50-year-old weekend warrior can. But keep in mind, I'm 200 pounds. So no drop chains, no creaks from the crank, no skipped teeth there. So for about 65 bucks setup, a 1x, it's pretty good. I know I didn't take it out on the trail. But pounding it like that, probably about the same as taking it on the average trails I go on. So for 200 pounds withstanding me jumping on it and just putting pressure on those, and even as I pedal hard, no problems whatsoever. So it seems to be a pretty good buy.